What if you could be the certainty during uncertain times? More than ever, the question that I am asked is, how do I navigate this? What do I do in an ever-changing world where I can't make sense of it? And this isn't the first time our planet has been in this place. It's technically always in this place. Our lives are technically always in this place. But we are taught that once we can control our physical, the outside of us, that everything inside is safe. And that is what we're going to focus on in this video, is becoming the certainty during uncertain times. Because the truth is, once you capsulate that within yourself, it's so much easier to navigate the world. So there's 3 things I'm going to have you focus on today. And I'm going to give you real life strategies that you can focus on to become the certainty during uncertain times. And again, the mantra we almost want to cultivate during this is, I am the certainty. I am the certainty during uncertain times. So now the question is, how do we do that? And I want to just say that I am someone who for a long time, and even still sometimes, has anxiety, a lot of anxiety. And these are the things I do to allow the anxiety to evaporate. So there's going to be 3 levels to this. And the first level is beingness, okay? This question, this word of what is beingness? So deep within yourself, I'm going to ask you to focus while we do this video, and I'm going to speak directly to the being within you, the consciousness, the awakening, the deeper knowing within you, okay? You don't even need to fully know what that is other than to say, I'm open to understanding this. I'm open to knowing what my deeper being is, okay? So in this moment, if that feels okay with you, just say, I'm going to allow this to speak to my deeper being. I'm going to allow this to speak to the part of me within me that is open and available to this level of consciousness. I invite what is ready to awaken now. I invite within me the consciousness that wants to begin to open now, as long as it's for my highest good, as long as it is what will give me certainty during uncertain times. There is a level of consciousness within all of us that is the certainty beyond knowing, that is the certainty beyond reason, that is the certainty beyond anything in our physical reality. So if we allow the beingness to come into this, just take a moment and just give yourself permission to do that. That's going to be the first step, to be observing what is happening within your body as the next steps take place, to be the certainty. There is a part of consciousness within all of us that is more certain, that is more secure than anything else that we could ever create in our outside reality. So if we allow ourselves to focus in on this deeper part of our being, and you live your life from that place, suddenly you are locked into certainty. Now, it's very difficult to stay in this space unless you are someone who has not only reached or had a moment of enlightenment, but you are someone who's actively able to live from this space. So the first step is you want to become conscious of this energy and conscious of it throughout the day, where your awareness is coming back to this energy as you walk throughout the day. I'm a conscious being. I remember the certainty is within. The certainty is around. The certainty is not a thing, it's an essence. It's something I'm consistently tapped into but have to remember. Okay? So that's the first step. The second step, okay? And all we're doing for one is I'm just asking you to be aware of presence, to welcome in the energy of presence, to welcome in your beingness into presence. That's all step 1 is, to allow awareness. That's the first step to certainty. Okay, step number 2. Byron Katie, she's a spiritual teacher. She's very big on this. Question your thoughts. So just for a moment, I want you to pause and I want you to think, what am I thinking about right now? What am I thinking about right now? What is my mind telling me? And I want you to start to question it. The first thought might be, I don't know what beingness is. I don't know how to tap into that. I don't know what to do with this. Let's just allow some space and let's just ask, is that really true? Is that really true? Nobody knows how to ride a bike until you do it. Nobody knows how to speak another language until you give space to do it. This product of the mind is designed to keep you stuck. So the second step is questioning everything you think or you think you believe or understand, okay? Because I can tell you what, no person who has ever gotten to where they wanted in life did not get there by believing everything that their mind told them. I can guarantee you this. I'm willing to bet a lot on that. So the second step is going to be to question yourself, to question your mind, right? When it says it's not safe to do that, lovingly bring that question to the forefront and just say, really? How do we know that, right? Like, how do I know that that is the truth. And maybe after we discern it, there could be a level of truth there. But the second step is questioning. So the first step, awareness, beingness, your presence. The second step, questioning. I'm going to question every thought, every belief, every moment that the mind tells me something. I'm going to lovingly question it if it doesn't serve what I'm trying to do, right? If your mind says you're safe, maybe we don't need to question that. But if it's telling you things that are keeping you stuck, that is when you invite in questioning. So I just want us to sit here for a moment, because I've been going fast because I want it to kind of sink in. So just take a moment and just observe your mind and notice, what is it telling you right now, that through the lens of questioning? Now, I want to invite you to come back to the beingness. See if you can bring your awareness to your body, to beingness. See if you can find it. Where is it located? And once you tap into that, once you set the key into it, I want to invite you to then come up to the level of questioning. The beingness is aware. It's an awareness. Now you're at the level of questioning, okay? We're at the mind. What is our mind telling us? I'm going to observe my mind right now. It's mostly blank, but a lot of the time when I tune into it, it will say something like, oh, you don't have enough time for that. Oh, you don't have this. And I'll just observe it, and then I'll question it and just say, actually, no, I don't think that's it, right? So we're talking about being the certainty during uncertain times. So let's give an example. You wake up today and you have lost your job. You wake up today and you have noticed that you are lower on income than what you thought. You wake up today and someone is mad at you. What we traditionally do when this happens, most of us, is we fluctuate. Our whole demeanor, our whole energy changes. And that is what this video is about, not letting your external circumstances change you, not giving your power away to them. And this is how we do it. We begin by starting to question. We begin by being the awareness, and then we question what we're being told. When you are energetically on the frequency of what you want in life, instead of letting life pull you, deter you, detract you constantly by what is happening, you are the one in control of your life, not the other way around. There is nothing in life that can take from you unless you allow it. And I want to repeat this. There is nothing in life that can take from you unless you allow it. And I'm not claiming that there are not moments, right, where we're human. We're meant to feel things, right? We have to feel things. We're not bypassing things. Yet we're not also giving our power to it. If I'm going to cry and be sad for a day, I'm going to put all of myself into that emotion. I'm going to put all of my beingness into that experience. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about where you turn on the news and you feel this flood of anxiety. You feel like, what is happening? Oh my gosh, my life is so uncertain now. You are the certainty, okay? You are the certainty, and that is the frequency that you're being invited into. How can I be uncertain? And many of us are uncomfortable with this because you know what most of us fear? It's not actually not having power, it's having more power than we believe. And this is something I have to consistently work on within myself. Every up level, I will meet a new level of me that I'm afraid of. And last year, as Sabrina and I were writing our book, this quote came out that I think applies, and maybe it'll mean something to this moment. And the quote was, I'm not afraid of me, you're afraid of me, and I'm afraid that you're afraid of me. And what this means is that there can be a self-preservation method of, if they're afraid of me, then I need to be afraid of myself, because that's not safe. So what I'm going to show you here is designed to make your system the certainty during uncertain times, okay? So, for example, your flight is late. Do you let that detract your energy? No, you become the certainty. You become the frequency of certainty. So, for a moment, I want you to visualize that there are two paths in front of you, okay? One is certainty, one is everything else, okay? And we can use another word for certainty if certainty is not the word that resonates with your body. Trust, surrender, truth. Now, imagine these two pathways in front of you, okay? and you're tapped into your beingness. We're coming back to this presence. And if you think about those two pathways in front of you, okay? And I know this is a lot, but just allow yourself to absorb it. It's not a lot if it feels like truth. It's only a lot if the mind is trying to understand it. Let it come in. So there's two pathways in front of you. The first, again, is certainty. The second is uncertainty. If we look at the pathway of uncertainty, we're going to see things like, the word that's coming to my mind is abuse, lack of power, lack of knowing, lack of trust, fear. I feel others' energies in that pathway. Okay, so those are things that are going to detract us from our pathway of trust. This pathway, certainty, beingness. I'm the one who knows. There's a level of my soul that is always on this pathway. When I'm on this one, I kind of go like this. The pathway feels detracted. So if you think of this pathway, I want you to think of your life. Think of a situation, anything. It could be like, money is a great one to use because that within our DNA for so many of us is so triggering from our ancestors, from our a collective consciousness, right? Let's say you notice that you have an unexpected bill for $500, okay? Or whatever number makes your body kind of quiver. This pathway is like fear, I'm going to lose my money, something's wrong, I'm not in my power. Oh, things are not good. Why does this always happen to me? That is this pathway, okay? That's this frequency. And you can see how it is so jittery, right? This pathway is something else will come. I don't know why that happened. I'm open to understanding it, but I know that if it came, something greater is going to come as well. This doesn't move. Even as you hear my voice, this doesn't move. This is certain, right? And in the beingness, if we just imagine the beingness being like a flower of certainty, when the knowingness is there, the being will open. The thoughts, if we're looking at these two pathways, this thought is all fear. You're not going to make it. You're going to lose all your money. Can't breathe. It's rattled. Let's just send that away. This one. Well, if I'm the energy of certainty, if I'm that frequency, and I know that within beingness, presence will attract presence, doesn't that make it certain that everything will be okay? If I just stand here, if I just stay in this frequency, if I act when I need to act, I don't bypass, if I feel the things I need to feel, but I'm in this frequency, this deep connection to my being, doesn't that mean that things will start to come around this? Doesn't that mean that everything has to align? Because this is an aligned frequency. This is an alignment. This is all over the place. This is alignment. Doesn't that mean that everything will start to come around it? And I'm just inviting you as we're here, can you start to feel in your nervous system, in your body? What does it feel like? What does it feel like when I'm the certainty and uncertainty? And what you're going to notice is that other people are going to be uncomfortable when you become the certainty, okay? So just last week, I had a conversation with someone very close to me, and this had to do with the stock market, where they said, oh, we need to move this, we need to do this, we need to do this. And I found myself getting pulled into it. And I just said, hold up. I think you need to do that. I'm Rita. I'm going to check in with Rita and I'm going to ask her what she needs because I know her so well. And Rita has shown me time and time again, the more that she stays in her beingness, the more things work out for her. This energy, whatever this is, that never served her. So I'm just going to take a moment. And when I came into my certainty, that person, whole energy changed. They were like, oh yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, everything has kind of worked out for you, hasn't it? Oh yeah. But when I was pulled into it, they couldn't see that. Certainty is the frequency of trust, of knowingness, of a belief beyond reason. Now, your mind, as I'm saying this, it might be saying, well, I don't have that. None of that is true. Okay? So question it. Why do I think maybe that's not possible for me? Question. Is it possible for me? Question. What makes me believe I'm not powerful enough for that? Question. Keep questioning, question. Something you're going to notice is the mind will not stop. You can just say, no, 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 no. Just don't feed into it. The third layer to all of this is then aligned action. So we first have beingness. We then come to the questioning, the curiosity, the openness, what actually needs to happen, what is being asked. And then we go into action. What is the aligned action here? So I'm going to just give you an example. Let's imagine for a moment that I'll share a story with you guys. So back in 2018, I quit my job and I booked a one-way plane ticket to Asia. Many of you know this story, but there's aspects to it that I don't share as much. I had $2,000 when I quit my job, okay? My beingness told me this is so right. This is everything for you. My mind for a long period was so loud. I cried all the time. I was so stressed out because my beingness and my mind were not aligned. And I learned to just say, okay, I'm going to go with the beingness first because that's the most important part. If I can tap into that, then I can start to question my mind. I can start to question it. So I quit my job. I have $2,000. I'm going to Asia. The aligned action was booking the plane ticket to Asia. Now, this is what happened. Around the time I was going to quit my job, I had made my decision. I got into a bad car accident. And when this car accident happened, I thought that my life was ruined because I thought that I was going to have debt from the car accident. I also thought that I had a pretty bad eye injury. I also thought that I may not be able to go to Asia anymore. So in my head, I'm like, why? Why did this car accident happen? Right when I'm about to do the soul journey, my being told me this. Did my being trick me? And this is where I learned this concept of certainty during uncertainty. And my deeper being was like, this is all part of the plan. Okay, this is all part of it. I got rear-ended. I was stopped at a stoplight when it happened, and it pushed me into the car in front of me. Literally, I got pushed from both angles. So when this happened, I couldn't understand it, okay? But that deeper part of me said, trust, like be certain. And so I stayed in that frequency, even when nothing made sense, when everyone around me, everyone was like, well, maybe just postpone. Maybe this isn't right. Maybe this is a sign you shouldn't go. My deeper being had a knowing beyond reason that this was all still right. Everything's going to be okay. And you know what happened? A few weeks later, without me even trying, I got a check in the mail for $30,000 to $35,000 without me even trying. So I had $2,000 to my name. And then I get this check because of that car accident. And I'm here to tell you, I didn't go fight for it. I didn't demand it. It was just, they were like, oh, she had some pretty bad injuries. Here's the check. And you know what? All of my injuries recovered. And not only that, I can look back at that moment and see how much that whatever went on during those injuries, how much it impacted my energy and how I show up in the world. I don't know why it happened. But I do know this, that $30,000 to $35,000 that I got, it helped fund my whole trip. It allowed me to help people. The message I got when I got that money was, you need to help people on your trip. That is part of your journey. This money is not just for you, it's for you to give it out. And I can think back to that moment and know that it's because I stayed in certainty during the most uncertain, probably moment, one of the most uncertain moments of my life. And the resilience, the frequency that built in me because I did that was wild. So I'm sharing this with you because I could have never predicted that. I didn't do it to predict that. But I can tell you time and time again that the more that I am in certainty, regardless of what's going on around me, when I stay in that frequency, when I come into my beingness, I then come into my thoughts, I bring the awareness to the thoughts, what's going on in the mind, what's going on in the subconscious. So I start with the soul, the beingness, I bring it to the mind, what's going on in the subconscious level, and then I take aligned action. Okay, so after that car accident, I had to go get x-rays, I had to go get things done, but I was still planning my Asia trip. I still kept going, it was never going to not happen. And that is how you become the certainty during uncertainty. You tap into your beingness. You question your thoughts, and then you do the aligned action. Sometimes the aligned action is, okay, I might need to get a second job, and that feels good. And then that second job catapults you into your next level of your beingness in life, your next level of your soul journey. But so many of us get stuck at one level, and I'm giving you the way through the levels. Don't start with the aligned action and then try to work backwards. You're going to be working harder. Don't start with the questioning. Find the beingness and move up. The beingness, being present, automatically opens these. Yes, we can do the other ways, and many of us are functioning from that way. When I was in corporate, I definitely functioned at the questioning level. The beingness wants to open, and that's where the real certainty comes from, because once you're kind of rooted, settled in that, and I'm not saying that I'm in this all the time, I'm saying it's a conscious effort to bring myself back to it so that I can move again. It's not that you need perfection, it's that it's presence with certainty, because that is the certainty during uncertainty. No matter what happens then outside of you, you have a place that you are infinitely connected to, that you know without a doubt, there is no question in your mind, it is always available. And that is the most secure thing, more security that $20 trillion could give you. We look at the world, and if you look at billionaires, if you look at the amount of people who have enormous amounts of wealth, and yet they've never felt more disconnected from themselves. We start with the connection and we build from there, and that's where the certainty exudes out. That's where we make these aligned decisions that benefit ourselves and others. So take a moment and look at your life and ask, where can I be the certainty during uncertain times? Where can I be the walking miracle because I am certainty embodied? And notice how your life will start to change. Notice how the things around you will change. Because the one thing you know for damn sure is that you are the certainty on this planet, and that means everything around you will start to align to that frequency. Everything will align, because the second something's a little bit out of place, you're not worried about it, because you're the certainty. You don't need the things outside of you to be certain. You are it. You are the walking embodiment of it. And that alone will do something drastic to your life. That alone is the greatest gift you can give yourself, to recognize that you are the walking embodiment of certainty. You are the living essence of freedom. You are the thing that we search for outside of ourselves. There's nothing else you need to look for once you tap into that, because that will reveal to you jewels, greatness, and joy greater than anything you could try to search for on a different level. I hope you enjoyed today. If you did, please let me know. There'll be more like this. And yes, I also have a new kit available down below, which will have some meditations and things that I'm very excited to share with you. So if you want to go deeper into this and kind of do some energy work around it, then that kit may be helpful. Sending you so much love, and take care.